Hello, everybody. Welcome to 252 Theater Online. We're so glad that you're watching right now, and we're so excited to talk about our big idea. My name is Mr. Cody, and my co-host, Miss Alicia, is not here yet, but don't worry, this is totally normal. She probably has a perfectly logical explanation. Oh, that's Alicia now. Oh,
It's fine.
I thought it was.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm here. Fine.
Okay. Alicia, are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Watch your head, okay?
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine, Mr. Gunny. I'm totally fine. It's fine.
Wow. Oh. Okay. Alicia,
Hey, guys.
Okay, this is like the saddest welcome that I've ever seen before, Alicia. If that's you under there.
That's me, all right. I'll tell you. I'm fine. Okay, I can do it better. You just watch. Okay.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm so excited that you're watching this today. My name's Alicia.
Oh. Okay, Alicia, what is going on? What's up with the mask?
This is my mask of shame, Mr. Cody.
Really? But I mean, it looks so happy. It's a unicorn.
No, trust me, this is a sad unicorn. Very sad.
Okay.
Don't you dare.
Alicia, I'm kind of afraid to ask, but why a mask of unicorn shame?
Yeah, it's very shame.
Yeah, but why are you wearing this?
Okay, because Mr. Cody, when I was walking in today, someone was holding the door for me, and I told them a joke.
And
they didn't laugh.
Okay.
So I'm not funny.
So you're hiding your face because you're afraid you're not funny.
Yes.
But Alicia, you can't do that over one joke, okay?
I can't.
I tell jokes all the time that people don't laugh at. It just
Well,
happens.
yes, because it's you, Mr. Cody.
Oh.
Okay, I'm the
Thanks.
funny one here. Okay, people find me funny. That's why they talk to me.
Yeah. Well, Alicia, that's not true. Okay. Yes, you're funny, but people talk to you for a whole lot of things. Okay. You're kind and helpful
I
when
guess.
you want to be. And you know what, Alicia? You bring so much to the table.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a salad?
What?
See, that was supposed to be a joke.
Okay,
It didn't
well-
even laugh, and I just like, oh no,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just
it wasn't necessarily your best one. Okay. Hey, you know what? I've got an idea, Alicia. Okay. Because you're thinking you're not funny and you're hiding your face because you think you're not funny.
A lot of
I'll tell you
shame
what.
under here.
You tell me a joke. Okay.
Okay.
And if I laugh, you have to take the mask off.
I mean, I guess I can do that. I mean, okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go.
No, okay.
You tell a joke, I laugh.
I'll-
If I laugh, you take the mask off.
I'll give it a shot, okay?
All right.
All
Here
right.
we go. I'm ready
Okay.
for you.
Well, what do you get when you drop a pumpkin?
I don't know what.
Squash.
I get it, because squash.
And the
See,
pumpkin.
that was pretty good, Alicia.
Ding,
I gotta give you props. I mean, I know it wasn't your best material, but that was really funny. So,
Okay.
a deal's a deal. So go ahead,
Right.
take your mask off,
okay,
show
I-
your face to everybody.
Okay, I'll take my mask off.
Wait, seriously? Another mask? You have cat.
I have a lot of shame, Mr. Cody. A lot of shame going on.
Alicia, we need to get rid of the shame, okay? So I'll tell you what, you were very funny, but that's not all that's great about you. So just tell a joke. If you make me
Okay,
laugh, the mask,
same
the
mask off.
cat mask comes off.
Okay, yeah, sure. Why did Humpty Dumpty have a great fall?
Oh man, this I don't know why.
Because he had a miserable summer.
That was a seasons joke.
Seasons
I
joke.
see
yeah,
what you did
fall,
there. Instead
summer.
of a fall, it was like
Yeah.
autumn fall.
Yeah,
that was pretty good,
exactly.
Alicia.
I
Okay. All right,
Did Claudia.
everyone's dying to see the real you, so go ahead and take the mask off, okay?
I'll take it off.
Yeah. Okay, you have a problem.
I know, but you know, Mr. Cody, this really is helping. I think it is, and I feel like I should just do one more.
Okay, well, you
feel
know,
my
Alicia,
confidence rising.
sometimes lies get embedded deep in our mind, and we really have to focus on something else to change that. So, okay, one more. There's no more masks, right?
Last one,
okay,
Mr. Cody.
Last one, okay? If
Okay.
you can make me laugh, you have to take your mask off, okay?
All right. How do you fix a broken pumpkin?
How do you fix a broken pumpkin? I have no clue, Alicia.
With a pumpkin patch! Yes, I know.
Okay,
Really?
a pumpkin patch,
Pumpkin
like
patch,
you can patch
yeah.
it up with it.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
see, I even
Like-
tried really hard not to laugh on that one.
I noticed,
but
but
you made me laugh.
got it. I got it
couldn't
out of
help
you.
it. Okay. See, Alicia, you're very funny, okay? You've got it.
Thanks. Yeah,
and there's so
you're
much more
right.
that's great about you.
You're right. It's not just about being funny, and you're right. I really believe you, Mr. Cody.
All right. Well, hey, since you've got nothing to be ashamed of now, go ahead and take your mask off.
Absolutely nothing to be ashamed. You're right.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I will.
That's great. I'm so glad that you. Whoa! Okay. Alicia.
What?
What happened?
Oh, you mean these right here?
Yeah.
See,
those.
The person I was telling the joke to when I was walking in, they were holding the door open for me, told them the joke, and then bam, ran right into the door. So.
Did they laugh after that?
Yeah, they laughed. I don't think it was at my joke though.
Hey, you know what? How long ago did this happen? About an hour?
Yeah.
I bet that we can pull the security cam footage and watch it to make sure that you're okay and to see them laugh. See, watch. Okay.
We do that.
Let's see. Rewind. Oh, yeah. Look, there's Alicia right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm telling.
Pow!
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Woo! That was painful. Oh, man.
Yeah, I feel it.
Was that really
I feel
you?
it.
I think I need to watch it again to see if that was you.
No,
Hold on
we
a
don't
second.
need to watch it again. We don't need to do it. We don't.
Hold on. Wait
Oh
for
gosh.
it. And
Oh.
here it comes. No, man. Oh,
Oh.
rewind, play. Rewind,
no.
play.
Okay.
Rewind,
No.
play.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Slow motion.
We don't need to do slow motion.
Oh. Oh, man.
Wow.
Well,
That's
Alicia,
a doozy.
I am surprised that this is not worse after that. But
Yeah. Give
hey,
it some time.
you know
It
what?
will be.
I have good news, because in our story in just a little bit that Mr. Jesse's going to tell, we're going to find out about how we can change our thoughts and that we should be truthful with our whole lives. And that can start by changing the way that we think. But in the meantime,
Can't wait.
I was going to give these to my wife, but I
Oh,
think you could probably use them more.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll just put these on now.
But hey, at least you got your confidence back.
You're right.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story.
Hey everybody, I am so excited to be able to get to tell you our story for today. But before we get to it, I just want to go over our big idea one more time. This month we are indeed talking about integrity. And we define integrity by choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. You know, I think we could actually add a little bit to that sentence. We could say, in whatever you say and do and think. Have you ever thought about that before? What does it mean to be truthful in the way that I think? What does it mean to think about things with integrity? Maybe you've never thought about that before, but today we're going to be talking about that. In fact, we're reading a really cool couple of verses. It comes out of the book of Philippians, chapter 4. Now, if you don't know, your Bible's not just a book. It's a lot of different books that have been put together. And what is interesting is in the New Testament, most of those were written by a guy named Paul. Now, what's interesting about Paul is Paul didn't actually start out believing in Jesus. In fact, he wasn't for Christians at all, but he encountered Jesus and he became a follower of Jesus, and he started to go around and actually start churches. What he would do is he'd go to a town, he would tell people about Jesus, people would start to follow Jesus, and once there was enough of them, he would leave and that church would kind of grow on its own. But he wouldn't leave them alone. I mean, he wouldn't just leave them on their own. In fact, many times he would write to encourage them. And one of the churches that he wrote was in a little town called Philippi, and the people there were called the Philippians. So that is the book that we're looking at. We're looking at how Paul encouraged the people, the Christians, the followers of Jesus in Philippi to follow Jesus and to think with integrity. Today we're going to look at what integrity looks like. You know what's interesting about the book of Philippians is that actually Paul wrote that while he was in prison. Can you imagine? He was in prison and he was encouraging the Christians in Philippi. How cool is that? But most of us have not been in prison like Paul was. Paul hadn't done anything wrong. He was just in prison for following Jesus and telling others about him. And so they put him in prison, but he was still encouraging others. Now, I don't know about you, but 2020 hasn't exactly gone the way that I thought it would. And there's certainly been some things, not anything as bad as like me being thrown in prison, but there's certainly been some things that have upset me. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Paul, let's think about some things that might upset you. For instance, you are wanting really, really badly to have some of that famous dessert that your mom makes. Maybe it's like apple pie or whatever. But she says to have it, you got to eat all of the broccoli on your plate. I know it might seem small, but it can be upsetting, right? Or maybe you're like some of the people in your life, some of the people in my life, who you were really looking forward to something specific and it got canceled. Okay, we're going to let these frustrating situations be represented by these fun little orange ping pong balls here. Now, here's the thing. We're going to let the vase represent you. So, I mean, come on, think about it. What is something really, really frustrating? Are you thinking of one? I mean, there's a lot of different situations, right? Maybe, for instance, you are arguing with your brother and sister because they are being very obnoxious, but you're the only one that gets in trouble. And on top of that, your mom or dad or whoever's in charge of you says you have to apologize and say you're sorry. Maybe that makes you really angry. Maybe for you were really hoping that you would do a good job on that spelling test that you had. I mean, you studied, but then when the test came, you just totally blanked. How frustrating is that? You totally blanked and you couldn't remember how to spell any of your words. That's really frustrating, right? I mean, here's the thing. All of us have frustrating things that happen. Mr. Jesse does, your parents, whoever's in charge of you. Everyone has frustrating things that happen. Even Paul did. But remember, we're talking about choosing to be truthful. Now, that's an interesting word when we're talking about frustrations. Choose to be truthful in whatever you say and do. You know, if I could call one of you up from online and have you take these ping pong balls out of the vase, it'd be pretty hard to get to the bottom one without actually just picking the whole thing up and dumping it. But let's say I called you up here and I asked you to remove these one at a time. It'd be very, very difficult. And it's the same way with our thoughts. I mean, think about it. If I tell you, don't think about pink elephants, what are you thinking about? Probably pink elephants, right? Because I said, don't think about it. You have to replace it. You have to think of something else. And actually, Paul explains that in the book of Philippians chapter 4. It starts in verse 8. Now, I really encourage you. You should read the book of Philippians sometimes. But at the end of the book, Paul says this. He says, finally, my brothers and sisters, always think about what is true. Remember our word? Choosing to be truthful. You know, we've said this month, integrity is a choice. You and I can choose a lot of things. And what Paul is saying is we can choose what we think about. Now that is interesting because a lot of times when I'm frustrated, I don't think I have control. Now, here's the thing. Frustrating things are going to happen, and you're going to get angry, or you're going to get scared, or you're going to get sad. It's okay to feel those things, but what Paul is saying is you have the power to focus on those things or focus on something else, to focus on what's true. Let me read this. Paul, in book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8, he says, think about what is noble, right, and pure. Well, there we go. Remember how I said it's hard to think about something besides pink elephants if I say don't think about pink elephants? In fact, the best way to do it is to find something else to put in your mind, to think about something else on purpose. Well, what if the next time something unfair happens, you stop and instead of focusing on the bad, you think about the things that are noble. You think about the things that are right. You think about the things that are pure. And the more you think about those things, what's really cool is it starts to fill you up a little bit. Now, Paul actually would continue in the book of Philippians. He says, think about what is noble, right, and pure. Think about what is lovely and worthy of respect. You know, the truth is that you might be able to do this when you're frustrated, But you also might be able to do it when you're scared. It's a time of year where there's a lot of scary things out. And sometimes you can focus on those things and it really bothers you. But what if instead of thinking about the things that maybe you see out on TV or in our world, what if you said, hey, I'm not going to watch that scary movie because it just doesn't help me think about what's lovely. Or maybe you're going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to play this game that my friends are playing because it doesn't help me think about what is worthy of respect. See, something starts to happen here when we do that. The things that we were focused on suddenly don't have room to stay in our minds anymore. Think about this. He says, think about what is noble, right, and pure. Think about what is lovely and worthy of respect. And then he says, if anything is excellent or worthy of praise, think about those kinds of things. And then he says, do what you learned or received or heard from me. Follow my example. The God who gives peace will be with you. You know what's interesting is this year, most people, if you ask them, they would not say it's been a year of peace. But when we stop and think about other things besides everything that we wish would go our way, like the fact that your mom's making you eat all of the broccoli, or the fact that that game was canceled after all of this time. Even this week for Mr. Jesse, there have been things that have happened that I wasn't counting on. I wasn't planning for. But I can choose to think about those things, or I can choose to think about the things that are excellent, the things that are worthy of praise. Like how every time I've ever needed something, God provides for me. How when things don't look like they're going to go my way, God shows me the way that I can go. Time and time again, Mr. Jesse can think back to the times in my life where God has provided, where he's helped me, where he's blessed me in unexpected ways. And suddenly the things that I couldn't help but focus on, I now don't seem to have room for. That's what Paul's talking about, and that's what it means to think with integrity. See, most people will tell you, you don't really have control over what you think. But Paul was telling us that's not true. In fact, we can choose to be truthful in what we say and what we do and what we think. I mean, I don't know what is on your mind today. Maybe it's nothing major. Maybe it's a really big problem. But can I just ask you to stop for a second and think about what is noble? Think about what's right. Think about what's pure. Think about what's excellent. Think about what is worthy of praise. And you know what's always worthy of praise? The God that made you and loves you. The God that you can trust no matter what. Here's the thing. We want you to think about that. And to give you the opportunity to do that, we're going to play some of our KidzWorld worship. And we want you to take this time to think about the things that are worthy of praise, including the God that made you. Let me pray for you. Thank you so much for all these kids that are watching. God, you know every problem that they might have on their mind, but help them, every frustration, every fear, help them to take those to you and not focus on those, but instead think about the goodness of God and how much you have done for us. Thank you for being so good to us. We love you. All God's children said, amen.
Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow. All your ways are good. All your ways are sure. I will trust in you. Life, I will
Well, that was a fun service. Thankfully, Alicia, I think, got her funny bone back. Thank you guys also, too, for worshiping with us. Man, worship is very, very, very important, and it's awesome to get to do that. Well, thanks again for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about integrity through this month, which is choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. Make sure you watch our YouTube channel on, especially on Wednesdays. That's when we put out midweek content. Right now, we're matching up with the series that Pastor Mark is leading for your parents called I Follow. And we have a video that's going up every Wednesday that talks about one of the ways that we can follow Jesus. And we want for you to make sure that you see those videos. So make sure you watch them. And also check out our Facebook page. We've got fun things and interactive things that we post every day that you can be part of and that you can check out and that will help you get plugged in. We've been working on building our Studio 45 venue for about the last year. We've been under construction, and now it is finally going to be open. But what that means for you guys watching online is that we're going to have a whole new online experience. So our 252 online experience will be designed for kids in 1st through 3rd grade, and our Studio 45 experience will be designed for kids who are in 4th or 5th grade. So if you're a 4th or 5th grader, you're going to want to make sure that you check out the Studio 45 program. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys again next week.